Get in here. Come on in. Get in here. It is Good Friday, and so we'll probably be a little bit shorter today. But our schedule is always 8 o'clock we open up. 8:01 we grab a drink. We cheers to try to see what Jesus may do, what God, what the universe might do if we open ourselves up to it. And so again, the goal of Strengthen Your Soul is this: to actually, obviously, strengthen our soul, and then beyond His promise that He has rest for our soul. So again, some of you are outside of faith, and that's totally great. And some of you are inside faith, that's totally great. But how do we have a fully healthy soul, become fully integrated people? So get in here, grab a drink. Tonight, I'm having water. Work to do. We got to talk about some of the heavier stuff of life that leads to a strong soul. So that being said, let's take a drink together. Cheers. Now let's talk about your soul. Today, a couple billion people will be thinking about this concept of sacrifice. And when we talk about sacrifice, what we need to see is this: that in order to live a fully connected, strong, free, amazing life, it will always require sacrifice. Now, we sort of know this intuitively. We understand that if you're going to connect deeply with someone, there is a sense in which there is a sacrifice you make. So, for instance, the idea of marriage. Many of you who are listening are married. Some of you aren't married, but many of you who aren't married, you want to be married. And the idea of marriage gives us this concept of sacrifice. In order to engage in marriage, to really get all that you can from it, you must sacrifice every other opportunity in front of you. So you pick one person and you go, I am committing to you and you only. And therefore I sacrifice every other potentiality I have with others, with other partners. And because of that, you actually experience a strengthening of your love and connection. So we see that. We see it when it comes to friendships. So some of you are highly extroverted, highly outgoing. And because of that, you have a lot of friends. And then there are those of you who are watching reserved. What you begin deep, life-giving friendships, that will happen only through sacrifice. Again, you must pick, and you actually cut off potential other opportunities, because sacrifice, hear me on this, sacrifice is the essence of love. And so if you miss this concept of sacrifice, you will never have the strength of soul to be a great husband, a great wife, a great mother, a great father, a great adventurer, an amazing athlete. If you miss out on leaning into sacrifice in the positive way, you will miss out on everything. You'll miss out. I want to give you just two more concepts here that are important. So why Good Friday? What the heck is Good Friday? And a lot of what Good Friday is about is actually what a lot of people object to about actually the teachings of Jesus. And here was the big teachings of Jesus. There are two archetypal sacrifices at the very center of the claims of Jesus. One is this, that Jesus, so again, this is going to be a little complicated, but I hope to unpack it for you in just a few moments. Jesus is in and of himself God. So in the Christian narrative, there's this complicated and beautiful concept that God is Trinitarian, that God is one, and yet there is a threeness about God and a oneness about God that are simultaneous. So that God exists as Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, all at once, all fully, perfectly united, but all distinct as well. So, Jesus is God the Son who comes and lives a human life. Why is the Trinity important? Again, I'll just break this down for you. Very quickly, it's important that God is Trinitarian, that he's three in one, all at once, because what it means is this, that the fundamental essence of the universe, of life itself, the fundamental essence of life, what's at the very center of it all, is actually love and community and friendship. See, if God is three and perfectly united, then you know that love and friendship and community is central to the way life is meant to be. If God is only one, then what you realize is that power is at the center of reality. But since God is communal in nature, it means that actually that is the center. Love is the center. Conversely, if there are multiple gods, rather than just one, but if there's multiple, then competition and violence becomes the norm. So power slips back to the norm in either worldview. So either way, though, in the Christian story, in the story of Jesus, God sacrifices himself. So here's an interesting question. Who is, or is there, but who is someone that you would sacrifice yourself for? Who might you sacrifice yourself for? Now, you might think of this ultimately as in laying down your life, but today, as part of our trial, we're going to go, who can I sacrifice for? So we're not going to make an ultimate sacrifice, obviously, but this is the message of Jesus, that God cares for you. And God sacrifices of himself to bring us, to reunite us together with him, to strengthen our soul, to give us a new spirit, to make us alive. That's part of the message of Good Friday. The second archetypal image is the sacrifice of a child. And this is like throughout history, because to sacrifice a child is the ultimate symbol of devotion and love and pain. And part of the Christian narrative is that Jesus, he's not only God, but he's also the Son of God. Why is that important? Here's what you need to see. That fundamental to the very nature of God is this, that he actually sacrifices of himself, and the depth of his love is that he would sacrifice the ultimate. Perhaps even greater than oneself is to sacrifice one's child. That is the depths of the love of God for you. And if you have not yet embraced a relationship with God, today might be a great day to go, I'm in. I want that kind of love from you, God. God's love is sacrificial. So to line up with you, the universe, with life itself, we actually need to love in a sacrificial way. So, two pictures, that's why it's called Good Friday, because it's a painful day. It's a day of sacrifice. But the death of Jesus and the teachings of Jesus was his sacrifice for you and for me as a symbol of God's love and also of his justice. So that's what Good Friday is all about. Now, what are we going to do? We're going to leave up our question about sacrifice. So who can I sacrifice for? Two questions. And the second one is this. What can I So again, we're going to actually pause. We're going to think and pray, and praying is this, it's speaking to God and trying to listen for his voice. Often God speaks to us in our thoughts and our feelings. Sometimes you actually get like a picture, but that is how God speaks to us. Super common for us to hear or have a thought in our head that sounds very much like our own, but it comes in response to a question. And very often it has wisdom from heaven above because it's God speaking. So again, some of you are uncomfortable with the language of God. Think of it as the universe, as life itself. And again, when I say that, I truly believe you're reaching out for the ultimate reality. And when you reach out for the ultimate reality, you're reaching out for God, whom we can understand and come into relationship with because of Jesus. That's my understanding. So 2 questions tonight. Who can I sacrifice for? So who in my life can you sacrifice for? We're going to think about that. Number 2, what can I sacrifice to strengthen my soul? So again, I talked earlier about cutting off options and that actually leading to a strength. So if you want to be a great athlete, you have to sacrifice in order to enter into greatness. To have a strong soul, a deep connection with God and others, there is always sacrifice required. Sometimes we need to get rid of bad habits. Sometimes we need to adopt new habits, and they will feel sacrificial. And to do that, we can actually experience more fullness. So let's do this together. Let's do it in real time. It's time to try. So I just want you to think and pray. Who can you sacrifice for? And just open yourself up. Posture of listening and receptivity and thoughtfulness. So for me, what comes to mind is actually my wife. Now, you might follow up and go, how do I sacrifice for them? And I kind of want this to be a surprise. And she's nearby. So I'm not going to say full details of what this is, but I need to get up early in the morning tomorrow and do something special for her. Okay, second idea. What can I sacrifice to strengthen my soul? It's going to sound a little esoteric for me. Maybe you got something different, but honestly, it's my phone after 9. So I've gotten into this habit later on in the evening, even when I'm with my wife, kids are in bed, of just kind of checking out. And it comes because I just hop on my phone and I'm mindlessly scrolling, even if we're hanging out, my wife and I. And it's actually disconnecting me from her. It's causing me to stay up later. It's robbing me. So sacrifice is central. It's central to understanding the very heartbeat of God, the very heartbeat of life itself, the very heartbeat of Jesus. Today is Good Friday, remembering the 2 archetypal and very true sacrifices of God on your behalf, the sacrifice of oneself and the sacrifice of a child, because you are dearly and deeply loved. So today, I hope your soul's getting stronger. I hope you're connecting deeply with other people and finding your way back to your spiritual home, your true home, which is a life deeply connected to God. With that being said, God bless you. Happy Easter, and we'll see you on Monday.